pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have a moment of solemn prayer. Amen. Okay, this is Town of Bath Council meeting, Tuesday, April 1st, 2025. We're in the Municipal Center. Can I have a roll call, please?
Scott Murphy.
Here.
Susan Webster is here.
What, you trying to say you weren't?
Elizabeth Skinner here. Mary Lynn Hickey here. Rebecca McLeod here. Greg Sheen
Here.
and David O'Connell
Here. Okay, we go to council. So we have a review of our minutes from our regular council meeting, March 18th. I will take any additions and corrections and a common consent if everybody has looked at them.
and there were a bunch of minutes this past month.
Are they okay?
Yes.
Okay, dokie, that's good for the news then.
Hey, do you mind if I tell an amusing anecdote?
I don't care.
It's a real short one. Back in the late 50s, early 60s, my Uncle Bill Hunter, which you may have remembered, my Uncle Bill Hunter, was mayor. And one morning, he woke up and the town, people were coming into town and they started calling Uncle Bill that all the meters in town were back. What are the meters back for? Nobody knew. Uncle Bill didn't know, And so later on that day, when his son Jimmy, remember Jimmy Hunter, my cousin? When he came home from school, he left the cat out of the bag that he had gotten up in the middle of the night and he had been saving paper bags and he bagged all the meters for his Town of Bath April Fool's joke.
Oh, boy.
Right. Well,
that's
what you share.
That's pretty good. All right, well, we have another set of minutes for our special meeting we had on the 26th. Any additions or corrections? If not, then common consent. Everybody good?
Yes.
All right. Okay. We have persons before council. We have our new municipal judge. We have to swear him in this evening. Mr. Ambrose, we will go ahead and do this ceremony. I'm not sure how we're going to do this.
You have to switch around.
You want to come around?
Yeah. That tail end off. All right. We are going to administer the oath of office. So, Mr. Ambrose, raise your hand. This is the oath of office, state of West Virginia. I state your name.
I, Kermit Ambrose,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution of the state of West Virginia,
and the Constitution of the State of West Virginia,
that I will uphold the ordinances,
that I will uphold the ordinances,
statutes
statutes
of the town of Bath,
of the Town of Bath,
that I will honestly and faithfully
that I will honestly and faithfully
perform the duties
perform the duties
imposed upon me
imposed upon me
under the provisions of law
under the provisions of law
as magistrate judge for the town of Bath,
as magistrate judge for the Town of Bath,
to the best of my skill,
to the best of my skill,
judgment,
judgment,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations. Thank you, Mr. Ambrose.
It is April Fool's, isn't it?
No, you ain't getting out of it that easy. All right.
You're just gonna get your sign.
Can I get all sign both these and then I'll have somebody witness? Yep, right there. All right, who wants to witness?
I think our town recorder, so. Yeah, town recorder.
Yep.
Congratulations.
You
Welcome to the
copy,
team.
we'll keep
Yeah.
copy here. get your exercise.
What is your first name, sir?
Kermit,
Kermit,
Like
with a
it.
K?
like the crow, yeah. I'm about to go ahead and say it.
Might as well go ahead and say
We weren't
it.
even thinking that, Kermit.
Well, I made him popular.
You did.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we're glad to have you.
Yeah. There you go. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
And you can stay for a meeting or however, whatever you want to do. I'm sorry, I stole your pen. Yep, technically.
I think I'll go.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I'll be in touch. Probably with that,
Yes.
I'll get going. Straight in there.
Make sure you have everything, yes. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Have a good
Thank
evening.
you. All right. Well, Melissa, you got here just in time. You have the floor.
Such a lovely Florida. Melissa Schott with the Town of Bath Community Garden. Just giving you all an update. We're going to be having our first garden meeting on April 19th at noon in the garden. We're going to be working on planning, kind of sort of where we want to go this year in the garden. And get in touch with our volunteer basis. Anyone who else who wants to come join and work in the garden, they're more than welcome to attend as well. If anyone needs more contact information, they can leave their name here, I suppose, yes? Okay, and I can get in contact with them about that. And then we'll just, continually have work days throughout the season, so we can keep the garden in shape. We're going to be having a sign, hopefully, here that it's just about completed to be put up on the fence, so everyone knows that it is the Town of Bath Community Garden, which we're kind of sort of excited about. And then I guess I just need to ask if we can reestablish the water access with the gutter.
Yeah, it's gonna be awful hard the way we're gonna do it, so we need to figure out how we can put some barrels or something out
That's
there.
why I figured I would ask.
Yeah, I think I don't remember what we had up there, that they caught a bunch of water in, and they
Rain barrels.
had a spout on it.
How much water you gonna, how many of them, there's 330 gallon in that, you can have water delivered there. Go let it off.
Now we might be able to talk. Fire department.
It's just not practical.
Yeah, it's not gonna work across here the way we had it last year.
Right, and that had been my concern.
Yeah, it was
at that
not,
point, yeah,
it was not feasible. I mean, I understand the concept, we tried, but
right.
it didn't work, so let's
I mean-
go ahead and get some barrels or something out there, fill them up full of water, and we can put a tap in the bottom of it, and put a hose, let it gravity feed, we'll sit it up high, so it can
Okay.
gravity feed it.
So looking at barrels, they're up on the deck
Yeah, I
closer.
think there's isn't there one that we were running rainwater into, isn't there,
There's a great big huge one. I
Yep.
think that's probably gonna pretty much take up a lot of the.
so we'll have to kind of,
I can come up with
Rack
some,
your
like
brain.
55 gallon.
yeah, or
Or
something,
something
yeah,
that would be-
and we'll, go from there, so. All right, any questions from council to Melissa?
Appreciate your work.
Thank you. I have a barrel. 55. Perfect. And then we've got the access that we can get into the gutter. We've got that we can attach to the barrel as well.
Okay, all right,
Thank you so much.
all right, not a
Anything
problem,
else?
okay,
Have a lovely evening.
See you, Melissa.
Yeah.
see ya.
Thank you.
All right, communications mayor, of course, everybody is reminded, make it shine, this Saturday, what time are you starting?
9 to 12.
9 to 12, are they coming here to get,
They can either come here to town hall, they're picking up throughout the town, or come to the shed in Greenway Cemetery, if they're gonna be working in the cemetery.
I got one question for just logistically. If we're collecting some of the ash and some of the gravel that's down, along 522, the bottom of Beach Street, we're not gonna be able to lug that anywhere. So are the guys gonna come by and be able to pick that up so we can? Okay.
I don't see why not. Yeah.
So if I
wouldn't
leave,
see
if
why
I have
not.
some like trash cans and they're like, I don't wanna fill them up too high, cause that would be really heavy. But just get
How
some-
much are you, like, you're not just putting it in piles on the street, then they can shovel it up?
Honestly, if I was working down there, I was gonna shovel it into like one of the trash cans and then just, they could pick.
Well, I mean, dirt's heavy.
I know the stone is
It's
really heavy.
93 pounds per cubic foot.
Yeah. So what do you suggest?
I would rather have it, I think, in piles,
Just pile, okay.
so they can shovel it into the truck.
Okay. All right.
That's what they
Yep.
typically, they get it off. at the-
No, that makes sense. No, okay.
Yeah, so you can just leave it in piles.
Piles.
And then once that's done, we can hopefully arrange to, and then do something in or something. like
Yeah.
that.
So where are you talking about doing that, on Wilkes?
Well, down, some of them pushing it out at at the end of the street where you have like Congress and 522, how it gathers in each, that where they
Yeah.
start. Yeah.
Okay.
Trying to get those cleaned
All
up.
right, yeah, no, I'll let Rodney know. We'll
Okay.
arrange to have that picked up. He keeps an eye on some of that, and we just have to tell him where we're doing it. So
And Saturdays are hard, particularly on Wilkes, because by 9 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, you have to
this
do all
spot
that
is
stuff
taken.
early.
We'll have to start Friday evening.
because of the
probably.
parking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
He might not be able to get to it until Tuesday, but
Yeah.
at least it's in a pile.
Yeah. Pile it up
Any
there.
trash goes in a bag
Yeah,
though,
got all the
and
bags.
DOH picks up the trash
Trash.
bags.
Okay.
So you might wanna collect those if you're doing any kind of trash in the reef bags that are back here, the blue bags, and then they'll pick them up.
Okay. So that's this Saturday, starting 9 o'clock, so.
And
If
they're
it
gloves
does
and
ha-
grabbers.
Right, if it does happen to rain, it's pushed back 1 week to, the 12th of April, same time.
Can you get something on, if that ends up being a contingency situation, Beth, can you like put it on the Town of Bath website and it's canceled or something? Not, or the Facebook page, something, or someone put it on Morgan County, just, if you don't know.
Oh, no, that's a Saturday. We
Yeah.
don't have anybody in here,
Right,
so. I don't
well,
have,
who's gonna
I
make the
think
call?
typically if it's raining, it just doesn't happen.
Okay,
Yeah,
It looks like the rain is early on Saturday, is what it reports, right? Before
Yeah.
6 a.m.
okay,
If it is canceled, we could put something on Monday,
yeah.
put it on either the Facebook page.
right, then it was rescheduled.
This way people know to come back on Saturday.
Oh, there you go, yeah, okay.
okay, that's a good idea. Nice day.
Very good. Yeah.
Okay, and the other thing I have is for the Town of Bath election, candidate filing period is 4/1 to 4/12/25. So anybody that possibly is thinking about running for an office here in the Town of Bath, that is the dates that you file. Last date would be the 12th. And it's gotta be here by what, midnight that evening? That evening?
Yes.
Yep.
And I am, the poll workers, I've got about everything filled. We'll have, a counting board this year like we had last year. I've got the ballot commissioners set up, the alternates set up. A little bit light on poll workers that day for poll worker. I think I'm shy of one poll worker, for that day, which is good, but I've worked on it all weekend. And, other than that, I mean, I'll be making a few more calls, and then there'll be a training date that will let you know, because you have to attend the training, or you can't be a poll worker. You have to know what you're
You
doing.
can't just show up.
You can't
and be a
just show up. No, you have to know the rules and everything.
Right.
So the office, and I will be letting people know that what the dates are. But I'm about at that wrap up. And next week I'll present a list and we will cruise down. We'll,
If I can just comment on the 4/12 date, that's a Saturday,
Uh-huh.
so the last day is actually Saturday.
Yeah.
So I think the real date is 4/11.
No,
They can
How are you
drop
gonna
it in
turn
the mail, in the.
As long as it's in the
slot.
mailbox.
Right.
Okay.
And then Sharon, will you be setting up like you did for the last election where you had, I mean, you had a pretty tight ship in here, the way you would set it up. I assume that you're gonna be
Correct,
following
yeah.
suit with that.
All right, so anybody that's willing to serve or run for an office, please come forward and put your, candidate, filing in here first. All right, let's move on. Bath Development Authority.
We are meeting, tomorrow evening at 4:30. As I've said the past couple of meetings, the majority of our discussion at this point is what do we do with the organization? Do we keep it functioning? Is it worth functioning? What we've all seen, everyone on council and people in the community, is that the on-track, effort, that group has really gotten a lot of steam and a lot of interest. That Development Authority, on the other hand, has not had that much interest. So we're talking amongst the group whether we should approach council, should we keep Bath Development Authority going or not. But that will probably be the main thrust of the meeting tomorrow evening at 4:30 in the courthouse.
Thank you. Parks and Recs. Don't have anybody. They got a meeting the 16th at 7 p.m. at the courthouse. Planning Commission.
Dun, dun, dun. So our meeting is tomorrow, and just an update. We attended the Morgan County Preparedness Project training they had on Saturday. As we work with Morgan County on the head of that, there's a lot going on emergency prep that I think we're going to pull into the comprehensive plan. Learned a lot from it. It was good training that I think is good for the community to be aware of.
It says on here the meeting's third,
Are we
Right.
at
What
Wednesday?
day is today?
Tuesday.
Tuesday the
Thursday.
first.
Are you a Thursday guy?
I thought we were Wednesday.
We are
That's
now
the
on Wednesdays.
second.
Oh, I'm sorry. Don't worry about
Okay, all right.
So
it
which
is-
day
it
is it?
Wednesday.
All
Wednesday,
Tomorrow,
the
the second.
right.
Sorry about that.
All right, any questions for Larry? You don't,
This
Good catch, though. Thank you.
This emergency prep, is this what you're doing,
Yes.
Priscilla? It's the same group, okay?
Yep.
Yes,
All right.
it was very well attended, very well received. We have a lot of people sponsoring it financially, and it's really exciting. Morgan County, I think, is poised to be the most prepared county in the nation with regards to communication
good deal,
for emergencies.
good deal.
A lot of attention, went on to when you look at the dynamics of the fires, the floods down in North Carolina, all these kind of things. There's similar dynamics here at play in our valley. So it's important stuff and good grassroots effort.
All right, any questions for Larry? If not, okay, let's move on then. Rails to Trails.
The county has spoken to DOH in Charleston. Bill Clark was down there. They're still looking favorably on us maybe doing the remediation for parcel 1A. So Pete and I went over the requirements, and he made a trip out to Bridgeport to meet with the engineer to come up with the cost estimate. The cost estimate was done in the DOH style, so there's plenty of room for
Lots of improvement.
yeah, so there are things, they assume that they're bringing in somebody, a big rig from somewhere else, and there's a huge mobilization cost, and they assume that, that clearing and grubbing will take a lot. It's just basically stripping the sod. They assume that the geotextile is like perfect stuff, and it's really just a demarcation fabric. Safety pencil, or you're just putting something down so that if somebody digs there, they hit that. They can't go any further. So there's a lot of ways that we can cut costs, and we're not building it. We're not building the trail. We're only doing the remediation. So we should come up with something that is quite reasonable. And hopefully it'll continue to move.
But the DOH is just speaking favorably. They haven't said.
Right, they have not said yes, but they really wanted to hand off parcel 3. Originally, they were gonna do the remediation on parcel 3.
Right.
And, when we said, maybe we should do it, they were all in favor of, because they don't want to fool with it.
Well, good. They stop speaking and start acting.
Yeah, it'll take a little finesse if you get the funds back, but yeah, that's looking good.
Okay. All right. Is that all for rails and trails?
Yes.
All right, how about streetscape?
Streetscape, the work is essentially complete. We have to have a final walkthrough. The meter holes were drilled last week, and they drilled the extra holes and put the cores back in up by Mrs. Pottermouth. And I think the meters are all in place. They look good. Everything's good. Brand new poles and everything. The handicap poles, has to be some adjustments on them because their height wasn't quite right. It's got to be 8 foot to the top of the sign, which seems pretty high, but it's safety alarm. So we haven't got a date yet for the final walkthrough for the village. We'll let you know. And if anybody wants to attend. Hopefully everything's working fine. Keep an eye on the street. Make sure it flows right in the right direction.
Yeah. You got the picture of the tire track where you probably seen the tire
I
track.
didn't take a picture of it, but I am planning on putting plants down there that don't cost a lot because I expect it to happen.
Yeah, it is tighter there, and it's one of those black, it's like a switchback.
You can make the curve and stay in your own lane. I've done it. And you just have to slow down. But if it gets to be a problem, there's always restricting the right turn. But right now, people just need to slow down before they turn. And it's a pedestrian safety feature. I didn't think it was going to be that long. So,
Yeah, I know.
I walked down the street the other day and somebody made the wide turn and ran over the sign that said, "Please be aware that kids are playing on the street."
Oh my goodness.
A little worse than running into the car.
it's a bad turn. I know that, but it's because the pole is there and it's
Right.
not, it's just, you're going this way and you have to turn. But you can do it.
Oh, yeah.
You can.
Just gotta
Like
be
you said,
cautious.
slow down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, any questions for Rebecca on streetscapes? If not, let's move to the train
Oh,
depot.
one other thing. We've got an appointment set up with, First Energy to talk about lighting.
Great.
All right. Let's move on to train depot.
I have nothing.
Okay, move on to landmarks commission. Everybody, we have to see about that too. All right, let's go to clerk and recorder's report. Madam Clerk, do you have anything?
No, I don't.
Madam Recorder, do you?
Well, no, let's see, we had no building permits. We did have a couple of property use requests. One is for the plant fair. This is an annual event. It's May 9th and 10th, which is a Friday and Saturday. I think they're gonna be there from 6:30 in the morning until probably 6 in the evening, both nights. It's a very popular affair put on by, let's see, the Morgan County,
Master Garden.
Master Gardeners, right, Master Gardeners. The Jeepers in the Park has every, Saturday evening, I think from April through October, December, I know. And all that they asked us was for no parking on South Washington Street. They're the first block of South Washington Street. I talked to the gentleman that runs the Jeepers organization for the meeting. He is fine with just having 2, maybe 3 spots closest to the country inn available to him to be able to pull cars in for the Jeepers for that first row. He understands that we have businesses that also need that parking on Saturday evenings, so he seemed very amenable to that. But this is a regular event. It is in the park, so both of these organizations have permission from the state park to be in the park. They're just asking us for some parking favors. So I think that's all. We've talked about the election.
All right, well, let's move on down to finance then.
All right, I make a motion that we pay the town of Bath bills in the amount of $16,589.38. Second.
I have a motion and a second on the floor to pay the town of Bath bills in the amount of $16,589.38. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries.
Berkeley Springs Water Works in the amount of $8,402.16. Second.
Second.
I have a motion and a second on the floor to pay the town of Bath bills, or no, the Berkeley Springs Waterworks bills in the amount of $8,402.16. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries.
Hotel Motel tax fund distribution in the amount of $24,394.48. I make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on the floor to pay the Hotel Motel in the amount of $24,394.48. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries.
And I make a motion that we pay the tree board bills in the amount of $530.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on the floor to pay the tree board bills in the amount of $530. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries.
All right, that's all.
Okay, we're going to tree board then.
Since the last report to the council, the tree board arranged to have a hazardous tree removed from the Old English Cemetery. Since time was of the essence for a variety of reasons, we sought only one bid, and that was the $530. It was removed within a few days of showing Mr. Truax the tree. We were happy with the job that was done. And an Arbor Day celebration will be held on April 26th at 4 at a place yet to be determined. The April 15th agenda will include a request to issue a proclamation declaring Arbor Day in the town of Bath.
Okay,
We should be getting that tree tomorrow.
all right. Anybody have anything for Kate?
Yeah, I just wanted to compliment you, Kate, for the tree that you took down in the cemetery. You were very vigilant.
Oh, thank you. And Susan, I did send this to you.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Kate. Grant.
Thank you, Scott. I too would like to thank Kate because there is a SHPO grant at work in the Old English Cemetery and they are on a clock. And they have already scheduled an excavator who can't come till early May. And they are closing in on getting bids for the fence so that all the work will be completed and receipts turned in before the grant period is over, which is great news. So thank you for removing that literal obstruction to keeping them moving along in a timely way. As far as other items to report from grants, Region 9 did be here in town last week. A couple of my colleagues, Dave and Susan, were able to attend, and I am in discussions with a couple of members of the Region 9 team about some potential grant opportunities for the town. Nothing concrete yet. One of them is the one that Jennifer talked about for the water for the, what is it called? The
GIS map.
The GIS mapping. So she is in exploratory stages with that, and also just confirming that funding will be available for it. I have a bunch of other smaller grants that I'm now in process of working on for the town, and also maintaining. I just finished reporting on the first set of reports for the COPS grant. It was 000 because we didn't hire anybody, but you still have to do that stuff. for that, as well as the Appalachian Forest Grant for our new website. And on that point, I would like to just mention that Greg and I were able to see an initial rendering of the new town website and the design and all those elements in play. We've given her some feedback on that initial presentation, and that continues to move forward, and we still expect to have the new website ready by July.
Mary, I have a question on that GIS
Yeah.
mapping, if you know about it. Do we need to commit that amount of money for Jennifer, for Region I? Right now, our expectation is we'll be asked to
Yes.
deliver on it.
It's a
at some point.
25% match, I believe.
It was about a $20,000. We just
Yes.
haven't made a motion
Right.
to reserve the money.
Not yet. Let's just wait until she's sure that her funding pipeline is secure, and then we'll take that step.
Okay, thank you.
All right, any other questions for Mary? All right, Mary, thank you. Public safety, our next meeting is gonna be on the 9th of this month, 3:30. Chief, do you have anything?
As you all may or may not know, I have, active application requests out for position of police officer. I've got two on hand. Both of them are essentially look good, so, that goes out the 15th. So sometime that's on a Tuesday, so sometime that week I'm gonna be, doing some background, I'll have backgrounds completed by that time. And then, probably do some more testing before we pick somebody this time.
Yeah.
We're gonna do some, the polygraph, psychological, and some other stuff before we get actually on.
A point of information, Chief. My understanding was that the polygraph couldn't be completed until they're actually an employee. So that's not correct?
That's not, that's, no, it's, unbeknownst to me, that is now a state requirement.
Okay,
I did not know that,
okay.
so that's.
But we operated under that presumption in the last case.
And, right now, polygraph examinations, psychologicals are state mandated.
Yes. And we have to schedule them, and we would schedule them before we actually made a job offer?
Yes, ma'am. That's
Okay.
part of the hiring process.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying.
All right. Okay, let's move on to cemetery, please.
I don't have anything I need to report tonight.
Okay, Beth. Okay, thank you. Public Works?
We were able to pave some potholes on Mercer Street, so it's doing a little better. It looks pretty good. There's a little dent still, but it's, I mean, patching is good. We purchased a new tarp for the salt, and we are going to start prepping the area up Myers Street to store the salt for the summer and hopefully keep it up there.
Forever.
We've got more room up there now.
Oh, we sure
I think
do.
you
I'm very
also
happy.
might want to look into getting a road that's not as steep, so you can get in there, because I tell you, wintertime, you do not want to bring them up on that road.
Yeah, no, we're not
So-
planning on, I mean, this is just for storage. Whenever we know that snow's coming, we'll usually load up the truck
Right,
with salt so that it's not a last minute thing and have it ready in the wintertime, so we can carry it.
it's not a really nice road. to come
No,
down
that's-
on.
it's very
nothing
steep
but
and-
ice.
But it does have to be plowed by the
Right.
state.
There,
At
wow,
least we'll have salt at the top.
No, it's just not our salt, our water tank is up there
Yeah.
too, so it should be,
Yeah,
we
try
try to priority.
It,
Yeah.
like, well,
yeah,
an eye on
like I
it.
said, maybe future councils can take a look and see if they can put a nicer road in, since we do have that property on that side now, to make it not as, to make it a gradual instead of a, you know, I mean, that might be down the line, but it's just a
Yeah.
suggestion. So, like I said, I brought a vehicle down off the side of that trash truck at one time. That was enough for me.
It's a little scary.
I will never, ever bring a trash truck off there with snow again, I can tell you. So anyway, okay.
And then we've been doing some repair work on our dump and, the trash truck, but, once the dump is, fixed, we'll get that pile of material from the park, from Meyer Street. Use it to fill, just working the area out. We've got a number of piles of fill in the cemetery that we're gonna be using for roads, just to take care of the roads in there as well. And we're scheduling work to finish up the mausoleum in the next, hopefully, whenever we get the dump done.
Good deal. All right, anybody got any questions for Rebecca? Okay. All right, let's move on down to ordinance then.
Ordinance. Probably the greatest concern we hear applies to building code and building code enforcement within the town of Bath. So we are addressing that. There have been some changes at the state level that will actually be really beneficial to small municipalities in terms of code enforcement officials. If they are engineers, they will automatically be approved by the fire marshal's office in the state of West Virginia to serve as a code enforcement officer. We have a couple of prospects in town, so that's very helpful. We're moving that kind of to a second step as we revisit what the ordinances that we have on hand and where it's available to us at the state level. The 1% municipal sales tax, the quarters has wrapped up. We're expecting our first disbursement late April, early May. So we're going to look at that and see how we're doing as far as that is concerned. In addition to that, our facade improvement initiative, we talked a little bit about that as the business owners will have the opportunity to improve the exterior fronts of their buildings. We'll be taking applications or beginning the application process in July. We just have one meeting left at this point with the county commissioners. In June, we have support from C&D Bank to offer 0% financing on the project, and we also have support from Travel Berkeley Springs and Columbia County. We're really excited to roll that out for folks.
Greg, I just want to make sure that you didn't mention 0% financing, that's great, but that this program itself is set up so that people will get, it's a 50-50.
It's a 50-50 match up to $2,500 for local property owners, qualifying property owners. And again, all the guidelines are just being finished up now, and then we'll be able to make that public in about another month or so.
All right, Greg. Any questions for Greg? All right. If there isn't any, let's move on to waterworks.
Waterworks, we have our meeting tomorrow at 2 p.m. Tomorrow's big issue is we're reviewing the proposal and contract with GDF. They're coming down here to visit with us. Last week, we did an intensive review of both the contract and the proposal, gave them our questions and our requests for changes, and hopefully tomorrow we'll come to an agreement on what things should happen there. Our objective is that the next council meeting, I'll be presenting our contract with looking to get council's approval for the contract as well as the proposal. And the proposal accounts for both tasks, the task one being the upgrade of the water plant, and task two being review and the assessment of the solar line.
All right. Anything else, Dave?
That's it. That's
All right. Any questions for Dave?
Just one, assuming approval on April 15 meeting.
Right.
Then they will start working.
So the timeline, I know that you're concerned with that.
Yeah.
As far as the water plant goes, it's about 3 or 4 months before they'll come back and say, okay, this is the preliminary engineering report.
Okay.
And we'll still have another week of, I think it's another week or so of adjustment period, right? In terms of it did cover things and that sort of thing. So
Okay.
if there's, now as far as the silica line, they're pretty much taking that as a pretty easy thing to do. And so their timeline there is only 1 month. Both projects will, different people doing the reviews.
Okay.
So both projects start as soon as we sign the contract.
Okay, that's great. So maybe like, mid to late summer, we would have a professional engineer report in.
For the water plant, correct?
Okay, very good.
Any other questions? All right. Okay, well, we come to the point in the meeting that we're at the end of our agenda. Does council have anything else that needs to be brought up? Okay, if not, I will open the meeting up to anybody on the floor. You have 3 minutes to speak to council. So is there anyone that would like to speak to council? All right.
I can just say something real quick about the Morgan County Preparedness Project. We're gonna do 12 months of training, on different topics. So the next one is bleeding and wounds, I think, emergency medicine, and there are 2 different dates. One's a Saturday morning and one's a Wednesday evening. It's the same topic. So every month we're gonna be doing that, and it's free to the public. You have to register in advance. Greenwood Community Center is hosting them for free, I think, for us, and we just have a big turnout. A lot of people getting prepared. We handed out hundreds of two-way radios since November to people, and that's what can be used in an emergency. It connects to the towers that we've got going up, and that we already have, and repeaters, and it goes in line with the emergency building that's at the top of the hill now, shared with the county. So it's pretty exciting, all the stuff that's happening, and the community response to it. It's been great.
Great.
Kudos for
It's
Yeah,
so cute. It's
that's-
preparemorgancounty.com. Preparemorgancounty.com.
That's
Great
great.
brand.
That's great. Okay, anybody else? If not, I would call for a common consent to adjourn.
So moved.
All right.